you were just saying that Rama used to say about the solstice. What was it?
Oh, yeah, that it was basically the two solstices were the most powerful days of the year. And of the two, the winter solstice, in his estimation, was the most powerful day of the year because the veils are the most thinned out. So access to your transcendent awareness is really profoundly amped up on the winter solstice, and then the summer solstice is like almost as powerful. And then the two equinoxes are also really powerful, but the most powerful of all four of them is the winter solstice.
Mm-hmm. The day of greatest darkness. I always used to like that back in my seeking power days. But he also gave this wonderful analogy every once in a while of using the solstices and the equinoxes like to push off, you know. So he likened it to being in a swimming pool, and you swim your lap, and then you reach the side of the pool, and you make your turn, and then you push off. So you would push off from the winter solstice and swim towards the spring equinox. And about halfway through your lap, you know, you start to kind of lose some steam, and then you allow the energy of the spring equinox to pull you the rest of the way. You know, you just tap a different, you shift gears and tap a different energy, so then it facilitates you going forward. I always liked that.
Yeah, it's a great one. Great one.
Inelia, do you have any profound wisdom to share?
I know that in most of the countries that I've lived in, and I've lived in both hemispheres, the northern and the southern, that the cultures, or there has been pre-cultured civilizations, or the culture that we know or that we can tap into, that have a lot of importance around it, and they have buildings that tap into it, or halting mountains and things that will shine a light only in the summer solstice or only in the winter solstice, depending on where we are, right? Like you said.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's obviously something very significant, and for me, what I've seen is that there appears to be a kind of active moving of shifting of energies, like in the physical, during the August solstice or summer. I don't know if it's August or July. I think it's July, isn't it? I don't know.
June, actually.
June. Oh my gosh. Okay. During this one, that then reflects throughout the months of July and August, depending where you are. That would be winter or summer. But the one in December is where it's almost like where decisions are taken. You know, it's like where we come to junctions and we take a different road type thing. So that one is like also really important, and the energies are definitely felt differently depending on where you are on the planet. And I would agree there with Lucia that the winter one, wherever you are, so it would be in June for the southern hemisphere and December for the northern hemisphere, is a very deep option to be wide open to seeing and maybe make those decisions. So it's like, yeah, I kind of relate to that because I've lived in so many countries. So, yeah, and this particular December, I mean, it doesn't matter where you are on the planet, feels like a shedding of a big load of negativity or darkness or heaviness, yeah, like a heavy stuff, like a big shedding of heavy stuff, really, really big. So we feel all light and fluffy and be able to float up, in vibration much easier, I think, after today. And the other thing that I was becoming very aware of is that even the most asleep person is becoming extremely aware of the polarities in intent with regards to people. Like, people are becoming aware of, gosh, wars are really not cool. And, oh my goodness, they are being done just for greed or whatever, or power, right? So it's like, yeah, it's becoming very obvious, and it's very difficult to hide intent, whether positive or negative, so that everything is becoming very transparent type thing. So, and that's kind of, I think, that the push that we're going to feel throughout the planet is that that seeing of, and really not being able to hide stuff. So that's why even to ourselves, that's why integrity is so important right now. Being in full personal integrity, and not making apologies for individuals who are out of integrity anymore.
Mm. Yeah, the transparency level has been building in the last, maybe the last 2 years, and it seems to have really reached a place of such exposure that you're right. We can't hide that stuff anymore. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to add one thing when you were talking about shedding all of the heaviness. That's what I was seeing in my morning meditation, and I just wanted to emphasize the fact that what is being revealed. It's like if you had a whole lot of clouds in the sky, and then suddenly the clouds parted, and it wouldn't be that there was anything very tangible that was revealed, except just blue sky, just space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was feeling in my meditation. There's just this this energy of, I guess, what you could call love, manifest love. But it's a quality-less quality. It's not love as we think of love in human form. It's just space, it's presence, it's oneness. And I know the thought came to me, and I've had this thought many times, but there was something different about it. Because I was actually looking at my dog who passed over, and he's just been this sphere of love. And so I was looking at the energy of the solstice and saying, wow, that energy is ever present. And the thought came into my mind, the great sages say that the whole universe is composed of nothing but love. And I think it was the first time that I really, really felt that on a deep experiential level, that there's nothing except just waves and movements of love. So if we're looking for something grand to happen during the meditation today, or today as the solstice, we may miss it if we're looking for something, you see?
Mm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. That's gorgeous.
And Inelia and I were talking the other day about, remember what you were saying, Inelia, about the galactic center? Just feeling the heart of the galactic center within your own field.
Yes. Well, I can't remember. Can you expand on that?
Well, you just said there's something radiating out of me that's a very different quality, and I said yes. When you say it now, I can identify that the same is true for me, and I called it, I think, a quiet power or something like that.
Oh yes, I love that way to describe it. Mm-hmm. I remember.
Well, that makes total sense, because the one of the big things about a year ago today, on 12/21/2012, was the alignment with the galactic center. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that we're only a year away from that. So the alignment is still very, very, very close. We're still very lined up with the galactic center.
Yeah, and I listened
So,
to an astrology report that Susan Gash sent me, and she was saying for this full moon, the same thing was happening, that the moon and the sun were in opposition and in direct alignment with the galactic center, and that was, going to dovetail into today.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, whew, well, I can tell you from having been in meditation most of the day, it's quite a day for being able to settle and just be, and just be, and just be. It's time to really be and step into our own direct knowing, all of us.
Yes.
Not what we've learned, not what we've been taught, not what we've seen modeled even, but trusting that peace. So it's so beautiful to hear you say that. Oh, that was just so gorgeous to feel into the field of A.W.A.K.E.N, what we've co-created, all of us, at this point in time. As Lucia said earlier, the very fabric of creation is just love, or joy, light, love, as Inelia would say. That is what all of creation is based on, and it was palpable in this field so gorgeously. But there was another piece that came through for me, which is this sense of vast momentum. It's like, I feel that, at least my experience was that there was a shift that began to occur a year ago at 12/21/2012, but it wasn't the fireworks that everybody was expecting, at least for most people it wasn't. But it's like whatever got sort of reoriented and moved into place is just taking off. And there was this rush that it was like straight from the galactic center of momentum for vast transformational changes. And if you think about it, I mean, my God, the changes that have happened since a year ago are pretty incredible. But we ain't seen nothing yet. It's kind of what it felt like. Really gorgeous, really. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I had some sense of that too. I wasn't perceiving much. I was just sitting and feeling, and there was just a kind of a growing sense of power, kind of like if there was going to be a flood, and I can remember watching a video of people in Japan standing at the side of a river and just seeing the water, coming down the river, this huge volume of water, and not even sensing that how powerful it was, that they should get out of the way. It might make good sense to get to move from where they were to higher ground. And but then it was just this vast stillness and silence, except right at the moment, what I deemed to be right at the moment, there was just this huge rush of Kundalini. It was just repeated rushes of this kind of blowing off of something, and then it returned. It came back into a very calm state. But what you have mentioned, Vic, is I've been pondering this as well, and I've been pondering a lot what Tantra, she says a field being the field, right? And that I come into a deeper and deeper understanding, and I think that's what that means, at least for me. And I think that's what you were referring to, that there's no need to do. There's no need for action. It's just enough to be, and the field does it, right? The field does whatever needs to be done. And just by someone coming into that field and engaging with it, they respond however they respond, but you don't have to point anything out. You don't have to go out of your way. You don't have to do anything. You just are a field. And we've moved into a space where just to be that field is sufficient.
Mm-hmm. And then you take that and apply the momentum, and woo! It's interesting you brought up water, because the term tsunami came to me at one point.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like this tsunami, this momentum.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about 2014. Really excited about 2014. I have the sense that part of this tsunami of change, I have a sense that we don't even know yet how things are going to morph, but they're going to be morphing substantially as everybody takes that step that Inelia was mentioning. Everybody, the mystics and everybody in the academy. I have no idea what that looks like or would look like, but I just have this sense, very strong perception actually, that we're moving into uncharted territory.
Yeah, that's unknown territories, the uncharted territories. I think that sentence is key. It really feels that way. It's like, but we're able to, we have the capacity and we have the ability, but it's that probably, you know, most of us here were taught to ride a push bike by somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And there's that moment when the person's holding your push bike and then all of a sudden they let go. That moment is uncharted. You've never done it before. You've never held that balance before, and sometimes we fall down, but that's fine. We pick up again and we get on, but we have that knowledge, and then we are able to do it. And eventually we're riding push bikes down hills at 90 miles an hour.
And freedom, it's freedom.